Diving into the twisty world of Joe Goldberg shows us a love story that's anything but ordinary. But imagine if Joe's sneaky moves were actually put on trial in real life. Hey there, and welcome back to Cinema Mugshot. This is where we take those wild movie and TV plots and see what would happen if they had to face real-life judges and cops. Today, we're zooming in on Joe from You. Get ready as we track down every sneaky thing he's done, figure out what kind of trouble he'd be in with the law, and reveal just how much hot water he'd really be in. Before we jump into Joe's secret world, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring that bell icon to catch all our latest videos. Let's get started.
The next thing our little friend the internet gave me was your address.
Joe's obsession with Beck begins with a sinister violation of privacy: stalking. Stalking, potential penalty up to 5 years in prison. In the twisted narrative of You, Joe Goldberg's unsettling fascination with Beck kickstarts with stalking. This invasive act is far from a harmless crush. It's a serious criminal offense. Stalking involves repeated, unwanted attention and contact, making the victim feel harassed, afraid, or threatened. The legal consequences of such behavior can include up to 5 years in prison, underscoring the gravity with which the law views this invasion of personal freedom and privacy.
I'm scared. I'm very scared of what you would do to her.
Joe's actions quickly escalate to the most heinous of crimes: taking a life. First-degree murder, life imprisonment, or death penalty. Joe Goldberg's path in You takes a dark turn when he commits cold-blooded murder. Killing Benji solidifies Joe's capacity for extreme violence. Taking another person's life is one of the gravest crimes under the law, with penalties ranging from life imprisonment to the death penalty. The chilling nature of this act emphasizes Joe's alarming descent into criminality. Joe's criminal repertoire expands to the kidnapping of Beck, showcasing his manipulative control. Kidnapping, up to 20 years in prison. In a harrowing turn of events, Joe's obsession with Beck escalates into outright kidnapping. This disturbing development in their relationship highlights Joe's willingness to exert control through imprisonment. Kidnapping, a severe felony, can result in up to 20 years of imprisonment. Among Joe's transgressions is the unsettling theft of personal items. Theft, up to 7 years in prison, depending on value. Joe's unsettling habit of stealing personal items, showcased in this instance with Beck's possessions, reveals a deeper level of his invasive behavior. Theft, legally classified based on the value of stolen items, can result in significant prison time.
I told myself, this is the last time. It's you.
Joe's deceitful tactics include impersonating a university professor, further entangling him in criminality. Identity theft, up to 15 years in prison. In a cunning maneuver, Joe Goldberg adopts the identity of Professor Jonathan Moore, delving into the realm of identity theft. This act of impersonation not only aids his deceitful pursuits, but also constitutes a serious crime. Identity theft involving the deliberate use of someone else's identity for personal gain can carry a penalty of up to 15 years in prison. The fiery destruction of the Quinn estate marks a dramatic turn in Joe's criminal acts. Arson, up to 20 years in prison. Joe Goldberg's descent into darker crimes sees him committing arson, engulfing the Quinn estate in flames. This destructive act of setting fire to property not only represents a pivotal moment in the series, but also carries severe legal repercussions. Arson, particularly of a dwelling or an occupied building, can lead to a sentence of up to 20 years in prison.
Drive around the greater London area to dump body parts and sewage pipes in the River Thames.
Joe's methodology in disposing of Malcolm's body is a grim testament to his criminal expertise. Concealment of a death, up to 5 years in prison. In a bizarre display of his capabilities, Joe Goldberg methodically disposes of Malcolm's body, an act that is not just disturbing but also legally reprehensible. Concealing a death, which involves hiding a body to cover up a crime or cause of death, is a felony punishable by prison time.
There is no amount of
Joe's manipulation reaches new heights as he orchestrates a cover-up for Love's murder, falsifying evidence up to 7 years in prison. In a calculated move, Joe Goldberg sets the stage for a deceptive narrative by setting Love Quinn's house on fire and falsifying evidence. This act not only covers up Love's murder, but also allows him to feign his own death. Falsifying evidence which obstructs justice and can significantly impact legal proceedings is a serious felony. If you're hooked on our journey through You, hit that subscribe button, it helps a lot, and you won't miss our upcoming cinematic adventures. Ready for more of Joe Goldberg? Let's dive back in.
Look, the thing is, Natalie has a very weird sense of humor, and she gave these to me as a joke.
Joe's deception extends beyond the limits, where he blatantly lies to the police. Perjury, up to 5 years in prison. Joe Goldberg's knack for deception reaches a legal breaking point when he lies to the police, committing perjury. This deliberate act of lying not only undermines the justice system, but also adds another layer of illegality to his character.
Who doesn't have that around here, right? A little voice in my head told me to take it.
In a shocking and calculated act, Joe poisons Love Quinn, showcasing the lengths he will go to achieve his ends. Poisoning, up to 15 years in prison. The act of poisoning Love Quinn represents a chilling escalation in Joe Goldberg's criminal behavior. This deliberate use of a toxic substance to harm another person not only reveals a premeditated and cold-blooded side to Joe, but also constitutes a serious crime.
There you were. Every account set to public.
Joe's infatuation with Beck also extends to the digital realm, where he monitors her online activities obsessively. Cyberstalking, up to 5 years in prison. Joe's obsession with Beck isn't confined to physical stalking. It invades the digital sphere as well. His relentless monitoring of her social media profiles is a modern-day form of stalking, equally detrimental and punishable under law. Cyberstalking, which includes harassing or tracking someone online, poses a significant threat to individual privacy and mental well-being.
That's a good reason.
She's never left me alone this long before. I know something happened to her.
You don't.
Joe's actions reach a new level of risk as he endangers the life of Ellie, a minor. Reckless endangerment, up to 1 year in prison. Joe Goldberg's behavior takes a dangerous turn when he endangers the life of Ellie, a minor. This act of reckless endangerment, where he exposes a young girl to potential harm and risk, highlights the irresponsible and hazardous aspect of his character. Joe's criminal involvement deepens as he assists Love in covering up the murder of Natalie. Accessory after the fact, up to 3 years in prison. Joe Goldberg not only commits crimes himself, but also becomes an accessory after the fact, as seen in his efforts to help Love cover up the murder of Natalie. This role involves assisting someone who has committed a felony with the intention of helping them evade arrest or punishment.
Where is she?
Joe's disturbing actions escalate to physical violence in a harrowing torture scene with Rise Montrose. Aggravated assault, up to 15 years in prison. In a distressing sequence, Joe Goldberg commits aggravated assault, showcasing a violent and threatening aspect of his character. The scene involving the torture of Rise Montrose not only grips the audience with its intensity, but also crosses a severe legal line. Joe's intrusive nature is on full display as he repeatedly trespasses, invading personal spaces without hesitation. Trespassing, up to 6 months in prison per instance. Joe Goldberg's habitual violation of personal boundaries is evident in his frequent acts of trespassing. These instances, captured in different scenes, highlight his blatant disregard for privacy and legal boundaries. And there you have it, everyone. We've just gone through the maze of Joe Goldberg's actions in You. After adding it all up, Joe's looking at a jaw-dropping sentence, a lifetime behind bars, plus an extra 118 years and 6 months. That's a huge wake-up call about how serious these sneaky moves are when you look at them through the lens of real laws. Has this deep dive into Joe's life made you see him in a new light? If so, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Cinema Mugshot. We're all about uncovering the true legal colors of your favorite on-screen characters. Stay tuned for more eye-opening episodes where we serve up justice one show at a time. See you at our next video courtroom showdown.